Let's get ready to rumble!
Senior Nation jam-packed show today. Peloton up 5%.
What's up, disciplined investor?
We got Benzinga CEO Jason Raznick here with us.
The man, the myth, the legend, Tom Nash.
Peter Schiff on the Power Hour with us live today.
Interesting, different, unique, innovative companies.
Mia, you are live with us on the Power Hour. What's up?
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Jessica Billingsley, that is the CEO of Akerna.
The best trade idea resource out there. Yo, what is going on, everybody? We're back at it. Happy Monday. Woo! Monday morning. We have a hot market today. Hot, fast. What's going on, everybody? Big shout out. Let me give you a rundown of what is to come. This is the Power Hour, which means this is the Trade Idea Show. So if we are not delivering on trade ideas, call us out, because that's what we're going for, guys. First up, top of the show, let's talk about crypto. Crypto stocks are back. Crypto market is back. We also cannot run this show without talking about China. These Chinese names are getting absolutely obliterated. So we're going to talk about the Chinese stocks. 12:15 Eastern, Zash Global, ticker BBIG, Bravo, India Golf. Chairman of the company is going to be joining us live on the Power Hour. I hope you're ready for that one. 12:15 Eastern. And then at 12:40 Eastern, Story Traders are coming back. They pitched a stock last week. It was ticker AEHR, Alpha Echo Hotel Romeo. On this show, the stock proceeded to run more than 100% since they pitched it. They came to us. They said, we have a new stock for you. We're like, all right, if you have a new stock, let's hit it. Producer AB, where do you want to start? Crypto or China? Pick one of the two.
Luke, let's go with China. So here's the thing. First of all, happy Monday. Great to be back. Markets are back open. Obviously, crypto markets were open all weekend and saw a strong weekend. But we will get to that. We will get to the crypto markets. We will get to the crypto stocks. Preview of the crypto stocks, our favorite, Voyager, VYGVF, Riot, Mara, SOS. But let's start with China.
All right, we're starting with China, guys. Check it out. So what I have up on my screen here, I'll make this bigger. Give you guys a couple zooms. What I have up on my screen here is I had the biggest gaining and losing stocks of the day so far this session. And if you'll notice, a lot of these names are Chinese names, a lot of these biggest losers of the day. What happened? China came out and basically passed a new order, which is forcing for-profit educational institutions to become nonprofits, okay? So if you're a publicly traded company, you're a for-profit institution, and you have to switch to becoming a nonprofit. Obviously, not great for the names. I'll read one of the statements that one of these companies published. So here's one of them, ticker ZME, and we'll go over all the tickers in just a minute here. But ZME came out, published a press release this morning, which I think did a really good job of outlining what happened. Where's my mouse? There we go. All right, so read this. This paragraph that I have highlighted here and a little bit afterward, I think does, again, a really good job explaining what exactly the new law is. Basically, in short, these for-profit, publicly traded companies are now going to have to become nonprofits. The shares are getting hammered. I was looking at one of them, ticker TAL, Tango Alpha Lima. That's the one that seems like it's been the most affected. Over the past 2 days, the stock was down 77% as of this morning. General take from me is I would steer clear or even short. I'm not short these Chinese education names now, but I'm taking a hard look at them. Other Chinese stocks, maybe a buy the dip type opportunity, like your Alibabas, your JD.coms, some of these bigger names. Potentially a buy the dip type opportunity because everything China is getting hammered in sympathy. But let's just go through the list of these Chinese education stocks so that way everybody has them. It's ticker EDU, Echo Delta Ukulele, GOTU, Golf Oscar Tango Ukulele, TAL Tango Alpha Lima, and ZME Zulu Mike Echo. Those are the Chinese stocks. Let's look at TAL, producer AB, just for a second. I mean, this chart is ugly. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a worse chart. Here, let's zoom it out. Here's a 5-day view of the chart. All right. Absolutely brutal. Stock was at, let's see, $20-ish, $20.30, as low as, I believe, below 4. Yeah, as low as $3.90. Now settling out somewhere around the $5 mark. It's bad. I mean, there is so much headline risk related to these Chinese stocks. I did, however, play one long on Friday. I made a live trade on this show on Friday. Let's talk about it. We bought calls in DD Global, ticker DIDI, Delta India, Delta India. Basically, this stock is Uber of China. It has 500 million active users. The reason why I went ahead and got into this one is that the stock has gotten absolutely obliterated with the slew of Chinese regulatory headlines. If we zoom out, the stock was at a high of $18 when it had its IPO. The left-hand side of the chart here is when the stock debuted as a public company. Got as low as down to $6.50. Now settling out somewhere back at $8. The trade that I made, I bought the September $10 strike calls. Okay, we just did this on Friday. $10 strike calls. The reason why I did this is basically the thesis is, I mean, it has 500 million active users in China. It's ubiquitous in China. It's Uber of China, but imagine that there's no Lyft. There's no like right next door easy competitor. So that's why I went ahead and took a long shot at this thing. If the stock recovers, I mean, the trade will play out beautifully and we will make some great money off of the trade. However, I did buy calls and not the stock for a reason. I bought the calls because I have to deploy significantly less capital. If the stock doesn't get back up to $10, this again, we're talking about DD Global here, then whatever. I'm down $90 a contract versus having to deploy, literally 10 times more than that for the common shares. So that's why I went ahead and I bought the calls. Again, it's sort of a high flyer trade. It's a high risk, high reward type trade. If you guys are in for that, then give it a go. And yes, DD is the stock that we're talking about. Delta India. All right.
Yeah, Luke, and I'm looking at the market cap right here, 38 billion. So obviously a huge company in a growing economy.
Yeah, again, 500 million active users.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with these Chinese stocks getting hammered today. I don't know. I might not be hopping in today trying to catch the bottom because it's scary. With Baba, like Baba opened at 195 today. We saw a tiny little bounce.
Baba's a stock that I've taken a look at for a long time and just haven't hopped into, thank God.
So. I know. And I thought this morning when we saw that little bounce that it looked like it was curling back up, we'd be going back to the 200 level, maybe even 210, and then boom, took another drop. So I think there's two things happening with the Chinese crackdown on the education stocks. Some investors are worried, is this like foreshadowing things to come? Will China crack down on other sectors outside of just the education? So we've seen the Chinese government willing to flex their muscles and say, hey, you guys might be running up. The Chinese education stocks might have been doing really well. The companies are making a lot of money, but they're willing to step in and interfere. And that's not what investors want to see. Investors do not want to see governments getting involved and essentially saying, no more raising money through stock offerings, no more essentially running as a for-profit business, as you said.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the future is bleak for all of these Chinese education stocks. Again, I'm going to pull up the ugliest chart of the group, ticker TAL. I mean, check this one out. This is looking back a month, guys. Okay, so this is looking back a month. Yeah, I mean, $20 to $5 in 2 sessions. So I'll throw it out to the group. I think I know what the answer is going to be. But if you guys would buy the dip on Chinese names, I'm not going to say Chinese education, just Chinese names in general, like Baba. Look at Alibaba down 7% today. Drop me the 1 in the chat. If not, drop me the 2. Again, the trade that I made on Friday on this weakness, it was on the rumor of the regulation for these Chinese education companies. The rumor played out to be true. So I bought DD when it was the stock sold off on that rumor. It was down 20%. in sympathy with the rest of the Chinese names. It was my high flying stock. I am up about 12% on the call so far. Not bad, one day return. But obviously, I didn't buy the trade or I didn't make the trade for that kind of a return.
Yeah,
so there we go.
And shout out Nice Tub and Tile Refinishing in the chat saying the CCP find 10-cent music today as well. So it looks like the CCP, which is, of course, China's government, is going after some other sectors, not just education. And yeah, Zinger Nation, if you are looking for...
Here's 10-cent music, guys. Ticker TME if you're looking for that one, down 5%.
Yep, that's Thomas, Mark, Eric. I go with the first names for the alpha numeric. But if you, Zinger Nation, if you're looking for a bathroom remodeling, check out Nice Tub and Tile Refinishing, friend of the program.
Yep. All right, guys, keeping us clipping. So again, this is the Trade Idea Show. So there is your first one of the day. We just talked Chinese stocks. And the play that I have in on there, again, it's a high risk, high reward. I know that. Okay, you don't need to tell me. Next, let's move over to the crypto stocks. And again, guys, shortly we're going to be joined by ticker BBIG, chairman of the company, is joining us. It's a good one. And then 12:40, we're getting a new stock pitch from Story Traders. He pitched last week, ticker AEHR, Alpha Echo Hotel Romeo. The stock ran something like 100% within the week of him pitching it. He says he has a new stock and he is back. So there you go. And I see Ted popping into the background there. So we'll bring Ted on. Ted, chairman of Zash, in just a second here. But let's just talk very briefly about the crypto stocks, producer AB. Basically, in short, Bitcoin got a hell of a run yesterday on a rumor that Amazon is going to be taking Bitcoin payments. As of this morning, that rumor still had not been confirmed. It was exactly that, a rumor. But it was enough for Bitcoin to make a huge, 10+% run. All the stocks in the space are getting lifted with it. The ones that are having the most amount of outperformance are the Bitcoin mining stocks. So if we look at Amara, here's your Marathon Digital or a Riot. You see these stocks are up about 20% today. Coinbase, one that I own, getting that nice 7% pop. The other one that I own, what'd you say?
About Voyager.
So the other one that I own, Voyager Digital, up 10% today. So picking up some losses over the past week or so.
Yeah, exactly. Now that one. So what do you think, guys? What do you say in the chat? Is it a one-day rally? So if you think it's a one-day rally of today, press 1. If you think it can go more days, press 2. What do you guys think?
And
right?
always smash the like.
Well, you got to smash that like. I mean,
share the stream, and then we'll bring Ted on. I know who you're all waiting for. Ted, chairman of Zash. It's about time.
Here, this is one thing, Luke. Can I do my?
Yep.
Wait, hold on, Luke. Not that. Where do you have it? Where do you have it? Yeah, there we go. I see it. That's important for you guys to do because that allows us to bring on awesome people. So, all right, Luke, I'll let you run back the show,
All right. You share the stream. You like the stream. We are all good. I'm going to go ahead and bring Ted on with us. All right, guys. We are joined by Ted Farnsworth, chairman, Zash Global Media and Entertainment. Ted, we appreciate you taking time out of your Monday to join us on the Power Hour. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Great to be here, guys. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And where in the world are you? It looks somewhere sunny.
Oh, no, it's actually the opposite. Well, today is sunny, but Syracuse, New York. We do a lot up here. Syracuse, we have a studio up here, a movie studio. So I spend a lot of time in Syracuse right now.
Okay. Excellent. And guys, the ticker is BBIG, Bravo, India Golf. Drop it in the ticker in the chat. Show some support. And Ted, before we dive into it, can you just give us a little bit of background on the company for those who may not be familiar?
Sure. We created Zash, maybe about less than a year ago, actually. And we just obviously with our partners at Vinco Ventures, which is, BBIG, the public company, we just acquired in our joint venture ZVV Lemotive, which I think is probably the big news out there. And then we announced yesterday, we were in the Financial Times there, that we just did a deal with Universal Music Group as well. But basically, it's an entertainment company where we're disrupting all the media out there. Lemotive is a competitor to TikTok, one of the biggest platforms out there. And we think that it's really going towards user-generated content, like TikTok, for all kinds of different reasons. But that's really the exciting part. And we just closed the deal on Lemotive, last week. And it was a wild ride to get it done. We got it done. We raised all the money. Vinco, myself, we raised over $200 million. That's already been done. So it's already been funded. We own it. We don't need shareholder approval or anything on that. It's completed, done. So it's exciting. So now we got to take on TikTok.
There we go. Congratulations on getting the deal done. How long did that take? I know you said it was a wild ride.
You know what? It's interesting. I was complaining a couple of weeks ago. One of my partners said to me, he goes, "You really can't complain too much. You've been at this one here with Lemotive for probably about 4 or 5 months. And now, as you know, we have a little bit over a $5 billion market cap with, Lemotive of what it is by Gemini services out there, valuation services. So it's been a wild ride, but there was a lot of ups and downs, but it's done. It's closed. We couldn't be happier. And now we're moving towards, the proxy and the merger with Vinco, which we'll be keeping the market updated on that as well. But Vinco has been an amazing partner in this whole process with us of getting the deal done. They saw the vision from day one, and really exciting.
Awesome. And can you talk to us about that $5 billion valuation? I mean, that's
Sure.
a big number.
Sure. It's interesting because a lot of people would sit there and say why or whatever it is, but like you take Lemotive, it's no different than when Facebook had, I forget what they were worth when they had no revenues or whatever, 125 billion. But it's really about the eyeballs and then figuring out how to monetize them. And we did, according to Sensor Tower last month, we had over 31 million MAUs, monthly average users, which is a huge number. And we've seen all these different contests we've been doing and different programs with Lemotive with a lot of excitement, but more so, even more engagement. We did a contest in India where it was a dance-off, and we literally had like 1.3 million installs from it. But we took the average viewer watching 2 videos a day to 46 videos a day. Those things are huge. And that's where your monetization comes in with advertising and things like that. So they compared it, what Gemini did was they compared it to, TikTok, obviously, and other ones out there like Triller and things like that have, established private market caps as well as public market caps. So it was all done through a regular, valuation of what they looked at. But that's how it is. It's really tied to the numbers, the MAUs and things like that.
Okay. And you brought up it's time to take on TikTok. You mentioned some of the contests. Give us a little bit more insight into the battle with TikTok and how exactly you're going to be taking them on.
Well, a couple of things. One is we're definitely working on, Lemotive's not really big in North America and the U.S. markets. It's very big overseas, Brazil, India, different places like that are their number one market. But we are settling right now to figure out how to take on the U.S. market and the North American market. And that really is doing a lot of UX, UI, changing it and sprucing it up, making it more, I say more Americanized. But you have to be careful of that because it is so big all over the world. You want to make sure that you don't disrupt those markets as well. I mean, we're huge in all kinds of different countries. In Nigeria, we've been number 4 app over there for a while. TikTok got banned from India. So India is a great market for us right now that we're definitely, doing very well in. So our growth is going very well. And Lemotive has been amazing all along the way. And then when we announced Teddy Riley with what we're doing with You've Been Scouted, it was a contest that I came up with where we want to scout people all over the world for talent. So You've Been Scouted is really where we'll give you a record contract. You submit your song, singing, your friends vote for you and download the app. And it's become a big buzz out there. And then, of course, announcing the deal with Universal Music Group, were able to use covers for anybody in their library, like Taylor Swift or Drake or Justin Bieber. So to be able to use those talents where our folks can sing their songs and you're all within the licensing rights and things like that is going to be exciting for us and really launch us to the next level with Lemotive.
Yeah, and I love the comment that you made, and it's clear as you're talking through the strategy that this idea of new media, right? Like when we think about Benzinga and why we exist, it was because we thought that old financial media just didn't get it and missed the mark in so many ways. So we can absolutely appreciate. We're going for it. We're not trying to take down TikTok, nothing as big as that.
Look, TikTok's phenomenal. Come on, I mean it's bigger than Facebook now. So we're not either. But I'll tell you what, I'll be the Pepsi next to Coke any day of the week. We'll put it that way.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's like, it reminds me when Carl Icahn made the big bet on Lyft and said, if Uber's worth this much, Lyft's only worth 5% of that. I'll buy Lyft all day, and it certainly played out well for him.
You're exactly right. I mean, you look at Snapchat, which we have content agreements with Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, things like that. And I think they all realize that it's all moving that way. Even Universal Music, they did deals with TikTok, obviously, Triller, ourselves. They realize it's a way to reach the global market. And it is a global world now. That's what's fascinating to us in Zash, where in Vinco, where we're used to being very centralized here in the States and media here and Hollywood and things. And then the fortunate part is we sit here and do this. You've been scouted. We're going to do it for acting. We're going to do it for all different things. And they'll actually have a speaking role in one of our movies. So it could be a movie with Nicolas Cage, Bruce Willis, whatever, but you're scouting around the world to get that talent.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's really, really disruptive, which is what I love, and all about disruption and having a good time, but really building the next type of entertainment company and tying it together with, the internet like that, but mostly user generated content, which is just huge. I mean, it's massive, especially from the pandemic.
Yeah, and for everybody out there watching, smash the like, share the stream. And Ted, you're talking about the future, and like you mentioned the scouting for music, the scouting for acting. I mean, can you talk to us about what like the end game or like the long-term vision of where you want to take it is?
Sure. I think, look, we look at it differently, where when we first were in negotiations with Lemotive, it was like anybody else looking at a company thinking, okay, we're going to throw a lot of money at this and bring in a lot of influencers, and whoever it might be. It could be a Justin Bieber or whatever. Then we started realizing that Lemotive was really different from the standpoint, very grassroots, very authentic, one of the biggest short form video platforms out there. And then we realized that it was about creating our own influencers from the ground up. Like normally now it's, from top down, and we're looking to create our own influencers and teach our influencers how to monetize themselves as they come up through the system. That to me is what's different about Lemotive. And we believe with our creators, which is our most valuable thing, is people creating the videos and how they do it with our patented software and things, is where as they sit there and they go through this and they come up from the bottom, they would never have a shot. And I think that's why Lemotive has done so well, where a lot of people might think that they can't compete with a Justin Bieber on TikTok or a Little Nas or whatever. But with us, it's really about micro influencers, where all the power is moving, and definitely a shift, and really creating the next stars in all different avenues. So when people want to get discovered, it's going to be, they're going to want to go to Lomo, and that's what we're changing the name to. So it will be, just short for Lemotive. And they've been around for several years now and done an incredible job. We've had hundreds of millions of installs around the world, and it's fun, and we couldn't be happier. And they're just a great team.
Awesome. And Ted, there's a lot of questions in chat about the merger.
Sure.
It is completed, correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah,
It's
the
a done
Lemotive deal is 100% completed. Shares have exchanged hands, so we own 80% of Lemotive. And what owns that, just to clarify, is our joint venture with Vinco Ventures, which is ZVV, right? So we already paid them money, which is interesting. So we don't have to raise money right now to acquire Lemotive. It's already done. And we have over 70 million cash in the bank, and we've already paid for Lemotive. You know, so we've already raised well over $200 million in the past. So now, as we sit here going in the future, so what's out there now is if you know, our shareholders, you know, if they exercise their warrants or whatever down the road, it's another $145 million to us. But we're not looking to raise capital right now at all because we've already paid for the acquisition. We have money in the bank, and we're ready to rock and roll.
Got it.
And it's not the last acquisition for sure. You know, we're definitely on an M&A trail of looking at things that make a lot of sense for us.
And when you're looking at deals to do in the future, what are some of those things that are most important to you? Or is there something that
Sure.
you see that will push a deal to get done, or is a red flag that'll stop it from getting done?
Well,
anything along those lines?
The number one thing now is focusing on, you have the eyeballs there, you have the wherewithal. So now it's about monetization. And when I talk about monetization, it really is about where, like, for instance, it might be an ad platform that we acquire to plug into the back end so we can take advantage of the amount of traffic that we have. And then also with like assets that Vinco has currently, you know, Everyday Edison, but more importantly, even towards this is Honey Badger, where it's an influencer platform where we do billions of views, you know, a month on that, and really pulling those together, but turning it into monetizing. Honey Badger was able to monetize with Facebook relatively well along the way. So it's really learning the lessons from there, now transforming that over to Lemotive in a much bigger way to really drive revenues and focus on that. So that's our next step. And we're really looking for accretive deals now that would be doing revenues, you know, making money, but that would plug into our ecosystem entertainment wise.
Awesome. And Ted, I know you got to hop off in a second, but one more question. Could you just give us a little bit of your background and what motivated you to get into this business in the first place?
Sure. As most people out there know, that I was the one that, you know, funded MoviePass along the way. And MoviePass was the fastest growing subscription company ever in the history of the internet, faster than Spotify, Netflix, any one of them.
It was an unreal story to follow. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was unreal. And the interesting part is I took great lessons from that, where we grew so fast, we broke the systems, where what Lemotive did right out the chute with us, we did a concert with LiveX Live, and we brought in 37 million streamers. And literally Lemotive had about 2 weeks to finish up what we needed to have done for that. And we did it without a hitch. So that told me this time around, the technology was there. It wasn't going to break with Lemotive. So that was great and very refreshing. So now it really is about doing things like that, doing the concerts, doing all the different things that we can monetize. But those are lessons I learned from, you know, even from MoviePass along the way, of what works and how you have to have the technology that works and then drive the traffic, focus on that. But it was an incredible ride, MoviePass. I have plenty of things that Mitch and I wish we had done differently, no doubt. But you take those lessons and you put them here of learning experiences and really figure out how not to do it this time around, and to really grow the business and make sure the technology functions properly, which it does, obviously. And that really is what got me in the entertainment business. So you'll see more and more of the entertainment business that we're going to be doing, but really tying everything into Lemotive. And I think it all ties together now, where, you know, in today's world, it's all becoming one type of new entertainment company out there, which is really driven by obviously global, first of all. So you'll be seeing a lot of different stories out there that I think the market will find exciting. It's totally different, never been done before. And we'll come back and share it with you guys for sure.
Awesome. And one more question popping up in the chat that I think one of your comments triggered. Can you just talk about the app development a little bit? Any sort of UI, UX changes, core functionality changes? Yep.
We've already been working on that for a while behind the scenes, you know, and what it is you want to be different than a TikTok. You don't want to, or than an Instagram, but you see that it was Instagram that just announced they're moving more towards a TikTok. So we know we're in the right space where you have the short form video, but it really is, our programmers have been working on and already testing different UX UI, meaning that it's just going to be a cleaner look. It will flow easier. The algorithms might be different in different areas. And it's going to take time, but not a lot of time. But before we really launch and push in the US over the next, say 60, 90 days, we really want to make sure you have that all figured out. And it's definitely a fresh brand approach to it. But definitely.
Awesome. Well, Ted, I appreciate you coming on and chatting with us today. Definitely keep us posted.
I will.
When you have news and developments, we'd love to have you back on. Just like I mentioned, Benzinga exists to disrupt old financial media, give people more access. You're doing the same thing in a different space. Yep. We really appreciate you hopping on.
I've been a fan of you guys since the beginning. So, I love it. So
awesome.
I'll definitely be back. Thanks so much for having us.
Air horn for that one. All right, guys. There it is. There you have it. Ticker BBIG. Hot stock. Give me your take. I want to see where everybody's at on this one. If you guys like the name, you're long the name, throw me the 1 in the chat. If not, throw me the 2. You heard about the private valuation, $5 billion. Massive. Again, I want to see where everybody is at with that one. One in the chat if you like it. 2, if you're hanging out on the sidelines. This is the Power Hour. This is the Trade Idea Show. Smash the like, share the stream, because we're about to keep the ideas ripping. We were just in the middle of talking about crypto stocks. We talked about the Chinese names in the live trade that we put on. We're about to get into some of the crypto names. I'll be going into a couple that I own. And then we're bringing Ben back on with us. He gave us a stock pitch last week. It was ticker AEHR. The stock ran, I believe, 100% since he pitched it. He's back with another pick. That's going to be coming up in just about 5-10 minutes from now. So stay tuned. We're going to keep the idea flow going. So all right. I'm going to get us back onto some of these crypto names. And wow, tons of ones in the chat. Everybody likes the BBIG trade. Here's the chart. But on a day like today, and producer AB, I'm going to add you back on with me. The crypto names are popping off. We mentioned it at the top. What's up, Jason?
Why do you just want to add him? Why not me?
You add yourself. You're more than welcome to join.
Fine. Okay. So have you interviewed him before, Ted? I
have not. No. First time.
Yeah, a lot. You saw how active the chat was. They wanted you to ask a lot of questions.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to get with Zoltan. We're gonna have to reach back out to him, maybe get a Raz report with Ted so we can get more into the Movie Pass saga. Because as Luke said, that was just an incredible story to follow.
Don't give Zoltan any ideas yet, okay, on that one. All right.
Okay.
But maybe yes, in the future. I have 2 more that we're supposed to follow up on. What happened to my Charles Schwab interview?
We're still working on it. We're trying to locate Mr. Schwab. His family office.
That's what I think the move is find his family office.
He's gotta have some sort of like charitable fund or something, and that's the angle we got to go with. Because
charitable fund, that's a great one too.
Thank you.
But let me ask you a question. Have you emailed charles@schwab.com?
I have not. No.
Exactly. You're or charles.schwab@schwab. Don't overcomplicate it until you do the easy basic and and get the bounce backs. I'm telling you. He has an email address at Schwab, and I'm telling you, if you email it, he will respond, or his assistant will. When I interviewed Steve Jobs, I didn't overthink it. I went right to his office, and I just went at it. Like, you guys, this is what I'm talking about. We just have to go at it, reach out to Schwab. He'll do it. Just tell him we interviewed Kathy Wood, this person, and this person. He'll do it.
I hear you. Yeah, Luke and I's thinking was that
try all the Chuck ones too.
Yeah, you're overthinking it. That's what I'm saying to you.
Okay, I hear you. Thank you for the feedback. Well, but Luke, I have a quick question for you regarding the crypto stocks, crypto market, this Amazon deal. So if it does come through that this rumor comes to fruition and Amazon accepts Bitcoin, what was that rumor that Amazon was going to accept Bitcoin or other cryptos as well?
The rumor was specifically surrounding Bitcoin. If that happens, then what everybody's been speculating on, which is that Bitcoin is going to be the de facto like currency of the internet, is true. It's done. It's like a done deal if Amazon takes it as payments.
Got it.
and just really quick on the idea side of things, with these crypto platforms lagging and this rumor bubbling around, I like the trading plays on it. That's like our Coinbase, our Tiger, our Voyager Digitals. Because if this rumor comes to fruition, prices are going to get popping off. Everybody's going to be scrambling to get wallets and payment methods. So I like these trading type solutions as a play on the rumor. And check it out, guys. Per my trusty Benzinga Pro, pro.benzinga.com, Amazon conference call 3 days from now. So if we're going to get news that this is actually happening, that's when I would imagine it would happen. On that conference call, 5:30 p.m.
Well, Luke, what I would like to know is, where did the rumor start? You know what I mean? Like, where did it start? Is it a person who's is long it, or is it an actual solid rumor? Or if you own 1,000 shares, do you sell 20% of it today? Do you sell 200 after the Amazon conference call, and then you keep the next 600 to ride? Let it ride. What do you do here?
So nothing wrong ever with taking profits. In terms of the origin of the rumor, Spencer Israel was doing some digging this morning, and it seemed like there were a few media names out at a similar time, but I don't think we got the confirm on who exactly was the first one to start covering it.
Okay, all right, because that's why you take advantage of the strength. I mean, crypto trade in general. It's slowed. I talked to a CEO of one of these crypto companies, and what they're saying is, people were trading heavily. Then the summer came about, and they want to get outside and do a little bit. I think the trading will increase. I think the trading will happen again. I think it will increase, but I think people wanting to get outside, go play golf, go play basketball, etc.
Yep.
And Luke, Mr. Dawson is saying it was a job description written out for a crypto guy at Amazon.
That doesn't give you a ton of confidence. But I see somebody asking about the DD call. We're up 15% so far since Friday, letting it ride. So there's the move on the DD call.
So yeah, Luke, I was going to follow up on what you were saying about the different brokerages, because we've talked about it before with platforms like Voyager. The company is able to make money not only when Bitcoin is going up, but also while it's going down and people are selling and buying more, doing more transactions. I could see if this rumor does, come into play, that we will see an initial pop in Bitcoin and stuff, but then there could be a little sell the news. So I think those.
I think if it's real, then it's popping no matter what. I think the risk is that it's not real, or it takes a long time to come to anything official.
But the reason I'm saying that there could be a sell the news is because once it happens and we do see that.
So pull up Aaron Bree, pull up Amazon's Twitter.
On it.
It says Amazon said they're hiring a crypto expert on their Twitter last week.
Pulling it up. But so what I was saying about the sell the news thing, it's we will see a pop if the news is announced. But then that's like literally the biggest catalyst possible for Bitcoin is that it's going to be accepted on Amazon, the biggest marketplace out there. Like, what's the next catalyst after that? Can there be for Bitcoin that Tesla's going to accept it again? You know what I'm saying? Like it is the biggest catalyst for Bitcoin that Amazon can accept it as a payment. Let's see. We're going back to last July 22nd, Amazon.
People could be faking us. I just don't know,
I'm not seeing anything about Bitcoin on here unless it's hidden somewhere. Let's go to tweets and replies. Oh, they have a lot of replies.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to as someone said in the chat, I'm just relaying here,
If there's something from Amazon's Twitter, I know they have different Twitter accounts. If someone can link that in the chat, if it's out there, then we'll get that pulled up. Let us know. But that's what I would think. I would think there'd be a big bounce in Bitcoin and Ethereum, the other cryptos that trade with Bitcoin. But then afterward, people might realize that we're going to be looking for the next catalyst for a while. All right, Jason. Well, last week we had story traders on Ben Rabinowitz Rabizadeh, I think that's how you say it. He pitched us a stock, AEHR. The stock ran after that. Ben reached out to me and said, hey, I have a new stock to pitch. I was like, I want to hear it because the last one did so well. So without further ado, let's bring Ben on.
Take it away, baby.
Let's hear his new pick. I'm excited. Let's go.
What's up?
Welcome back to the Power Hour. As I said last week, we had you on. You pitched AEHR. Was a great call. The stock ran after we had you on the show. I believe it's up more than 100% since we had you on. So that worked out for you well, right?
It hit a high of, I believe, 909 in after hours. I did not sell. This is a longer term hold for me, and it's back down. It's back down to around the same price we pitched it at. And $20 million in orders in 6 weeks, EV orders. I wish the shorts good luck. They're going to need it.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, anytime now, we're in this era where if a stock has high short interest, my opinion is that can actually be a good thing for the stock. But let's get to the new pitch that we have today.
All right. Well, before I share the new pitch with you, I got to show this to you. I'm sharing my screen. You got to see this.
All right. We got it pulled up.
All right. There you see in that picture, Ted Farnsworth, who you just interviewed. That's myself, Mitch Lowe from MoviePass, and my friend Igal. It is like the stock market gods putting us on the same show today because, wow, MoviePass was the beginning of the evolution of StoryTrading.com. It was the very first research group we had. We had a couple hundred collaborators on MoviePass. We knew everything about that company, the ins and the outs, the ups and the downs. Fascinating story. Maybe one day we'll share you some of the inside story of what happened there with MoviePass.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned earlier that it was just a fascinating story to follow, like from a media standpoint, seeing everything that was going on with it. But yeah, very small world that Ted, our first guest on the show, and now we're with you, Ben. So if you want to share your screen again, we can get some more color about this new stock that we have that Story Trading is pitching. We need to hear the ticker, market cap, the thesis behind it. And, I told you this last time we had you on. I liked how you not only give color on the company and the fundamentals, but also from a technical standpoint. So you kind of cover all bases there.
Okay, great. Do you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
We always got to throw up that disclaimer. Got to do that. Story Trading is not an investment advisor. Investing in securities involves significant risk of loss. All about Story Trading. Everyone's signing up for the app, so make sure to do that. Now, today's trade is a little bit different. Last week in AEHR, we had an event reaction and a fundamental re-rating play with what happened with AEHR. Today, we have an event anticipation play. And again, the key to understanding what can happen in the future is understanding what happened in the past. SMSI has been one of the biggest research efforts, even bigger than MoviePass. We've had 300-400 people collaborating at Story Trading on SMSI for the last several years. We just had a show about a month ago in our VIP events, and 31% of our members picked SMSI as the top pick in our community. It's also a VIP pick. So I always start with the chart. Look at this history here. I got phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. What happened over here? You had a big surge in end of 2017, went sideways, phase 2. Then you had a huge pop over there, phase 3, then 4, consolidation. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history here and then tell you about the opportunity right after that. So phase 1 here, they signed so what is SMSI? They do consumer software. They create apps for wireless carriers, okay? Mostly focused around family safety. So they signed Sprint back over there. The stock tripled when they signed Sprint. What happened in phase 2? It took time for that to hit the bottom line. People were waiting for that revenue to hit. It took an amount of time. There was consolidation. And the Story Trading people who were on top of the research knew this was coming, knew that number 3, that phase 3 was about to hit because we were watching app rankings very closely. We're doing channel checks as a collaborative community, and we were ahead of that. People in our community, it was life-changing. We've had lots of millionaires created at Story Trading because of that move from 2 to 3. Now, what happened after that? We've had a period of consolidation. Why didn't it keep going up? And by the way, got some little icons. So what happened over here? We had COVID, first of all, hit. Okay, slowed things down because they were selling these little dongles. Where are they? Here they are. Sprint Tracker. They're selling this kind of stuff so you can track your kids on buses and things like that. So that slowed down because of COVID. And then you had a merger by Avast here. They bought Location Labs from Avast. Also, what you had in here is T-Mobile bought Sprint. That created a lot of uncertainty. People were wondering, are they going to continue offering this software to T-Mobile because all the money's coming from Sprint? So that's the history of the chart. And now we're going to talk about what comes next. But before we do, we're going to talk about fundamentals, catalysts, and technicals. We have a lot to cover. I'm going to go fast. So fundamentals. This is a huge fundamental story. So we got to spend a few minutes on fundamentals. As I said, consumer software for wireless and cable providers. This is a recurring revenue model. They get, at least with Sprint, they got, for every person who signed up for their family safety software, they got a percentage of that. This is not like a annual license fee. This is based on usage. And once they're into the carriers, it's very sticky, huge moat, very hard for competitors to come in and displace them. And now with the merger, they effectively have a monopoly, by the way, when they bought Location Labs. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Fundamentals, DCF analysis, through the collaboration in the community, we think that this stock can be $30 to $40 in 1 to 2 years. It's, by the way, you asked about the market cap. It's around a $300 million market cap, trading somewhere around $6 right now. So let's talk about the fundamentals. Threw up a few charts here. This is the revenue. You can see how the revenue was surging over here. This was because of that Sprint deal, and the stock reacted right in there. It looks like a small move. That was actually a big move, okay? But then it stagnated, as we talked about. The profit margins in this business are crazy high because it's software, 86, 90%. And again, you can see that revenue dropping since the COVID happened and the T-Mobile merger. Over here, you can see the operating income. As the operating income was booming, it reflected in the stock price. And again, it went down the past year. So what's going to change? What's that catalyst? Let's find out. But first, what do we have here? Look at this chart. This is the most interesting one. This is institutional investor ownership. Revenue is going down. The stock is stagnating, but the institutional ownership keeps going up. What could that be about? I think it probably has a lot to do with that merger of Avast from Location Labs. They have a monopoly in this space now. Let's go to sentiment. Sentiment, not as sexy as electric vehicles, but they deal with big name carriers. Anytime there's something newsworthy with a big name carrier, it means lots of future revenue coming in. So that's a positive sentiment. We had the COVID delays in the T-Mobile merger, which is some negative sentiment, but that merger is now complete. So things got a good sentiment. That's the up and down, the consolidation in the past year or so. Concentration risk has been reduced because in that initial surge from $1 to $3, it was just Sprint, but now they have all kinds of customers in their pipeline. Now, some things that positive or negative, not sure, is what are the contract terms going to be with T-Mobile? The CFO departed some 10 days ago. I spoke to him. Everything's fine. The company's in great hands. He had an opportunity he could not turn down, getting paid like 3 to 5 times higher with a private company. So now, with that, let's go to technicals before we get into the real fun, consequential stuff. I think we might make news today. So technicals from Rexman, our favorite technical analyst. This is the chart he has here, and basically is saying the current trend breakout points to the 20s to 30s, which coincidentally matches that DCF target that our financial analysts have. That's really interesting because I did not bias Rex. When I asked him for a chart for today's show, I didn't tell him anything about the fundamental targets, and he came to me with 20 to 30s on the current breakout. But first, it must clear resistance at the 7s and 10s, his personal targets in the mid-15s. Now, the fun part, the catalyst, anticipation of inflection point. What happened here? July 13th. You see this? The stock's been moving up from 5 to 570 or so. Look at that volume. Something's going on. What's going on? Well, what happened on July 13th? An almost unknown event happened. Eitan Urbis, Vice President of Corporate Strategy. There was a webinar the SMSI had, a live webinar. No press release on this. Only 200 views on their YouTube channel. This is what he said. There was a Q&A session, an analyst asking about SafePath Drive. I don't know if some of you guys remember Sprint Drive. It's a little device you throw in your car, and you can track usage, miles, safety. You can track your kids. So an analyst talked about what's going on with SafePath Drive. SafePath is what SMSI calls their software. When a T-Mobile or Sprint takes it up, they'll brand it under their own name, such as Sprint Drive or T-Mobile Drive. So in reference to SafePath, the first launch, this is word for word what he said, the first launch of it is actually this summer. In fact, this month. By the end of this month, with one of our partners, I won't steal their thunder. We'll let them issue their own press release. It is a household name in the world of mobile phone use, and there are others to follow. Now, stay tuned. I'm going to give you a link so you can listen to that for yourself. So we think this is Safe Path Drive based on our research. We speculate based on research and other data points. This is T-Mobile, well-researched speculation. Now, he said by the end of the month. Now, T-Mobile has earnings later this week, but just this morning through a collaborative effort, someone reached out to T-Mobile customer service, and they found out there is a big app update to their legacy software for family safety called Family Mode, and they're updating that on August 9th. The details customer service provides strongly points to this being the Safe Path solution from SMSI on August 9th. So it might be 9 days late, or maybe they're going to announce it before the end of this month and launch it August 9th. Now, if you want to hear that for yourself, straight from the horse's mouth, this is a special link we just put up for today. It goes straight to YouTube. Just to forward an easy link, storytrading.com/SMSI. You can watch the 40-second clip for yourself. And regarding that quote, he said there are others to follow. They already have a relationship with Boost, but it can be strengthened with more software applications. And Verizon, we think that's to follow. AT&T is a customer for one of their product lines, so lots of potential opportunities and customers to come.
Yep, and I just threw the link to that YouTube video in the chat. And Ben, this is what I love about what you guys are doing at Story Trading. Like I said, it's not just the fundamentals. It's not just the technicals. It's when both are kind of coming together. So we had the technical price point, which matched up with the fundamental price point. And certainly some interesting catalysts look like that's coming soon. So I want to open up the chat to some questions right now for you,
Sure.
Ben. So chat, if we have any questions about SMSI, Ben and his team over at Story Trading has done an abundant amount of research on the stock. So thank you, first of all, Ben, for coming back on the show, for sharing another one of your picks with us. I can see that the stock is moving now. Let me just get a chart of that pulled up real quick on Benzinga Pro. And let's see what kind of questions we got coming in the chat. Long term, you said this could be a $20 to $30 price target, but in the short term, maybe more around the $15 range.
Well, there's technical resistance in the 7 range. There's always psychological resistance at 10. These are not my personal targets, but Rexman, that technical analyst who I follow on Twitter, he said his personal target for this run is the mid-15s.
Got it. Let me get this chart shared up. All right, so we do have some questions coming in. Where can EPS go? I don't know if you've done any research on kind of earnings per share. Chris is wondering, is now a good entry point on SMSI? So, I mean, look.
So from the collaborative research in the community, I'm not a financial model guy. I'm not a spreadsheet guy, but I can tell you that people who do the spreadsheets in our community are looking at $1 or $2 in EPS over the next few years. I believe they did right before COVID and before the T-Mobile merger. I believe they did 10 cents in EPS, which is a 40-cent run rate for the annually. And T-Mobile is far larger than far larger than Sprint. And they have lots of other offerings now with Boost and other customers. So if that was 40-cent run rate, it just goes to follow this. This could be in the dollars in terms of EPS in the next few years.
Yep, and I've got this chart pulled up. We're looking at up 8% today. But if you look at what's interesting to me here on the chart is for the past 2 weeks, we've seen this uptrend kind of establish.
That was us. That was our community. That was our community buying on the webinar. As soon as that webinar came out, that was spreading in our community, and we were buying.
And that's what I love again about what y'all are doing is that, this YouTube video, you said it has 200 views. There's no press release out about it, but you guys are there doing the research kind of collaboratively and finding that information that is useful to investors. So Zinger Nation, give Ben a like, smash the like for Ben, check him out on storytrading.com. And like I've always said, we're stronger in numbers. So when you have a team of people that are, researching stocks with you, it will always make it better than if you're just doing it on your own.
Great. And I just want to say, this was just a coincidence that we had 2 great stocks in like a week or two. Things like this don't happen all the time. We've been on top of these stocks for years, right? We know these stocks so well, and these inflection points are here. And honestly, it only takes like 3 or 4 big winners to totally change your life. So we're not going to come back here on this show and force ideas. It was just kind of luck that it was 2 in a row. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, well, thank you, Ben, for letting us know. So I see people in the chat are asking, For your Twitter, that is just at Story Trading. I will drop a link for that.
And also personally at Ben Rabizadeh.
Yep, I'll get that in the chat as well. And yeah, I mean, I know, Ben, I'm not going to be able to reach out to you for some of these winners every single week, but when you do have them, you got to let us know. We'll get you back on.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we'll be able to make some good trades together.
Sounds good. Producer AB, it was nice being here today.
Thank you again for joining us, Ben. And I see some people in the chat asking about BBIG. Please scroll back in the video. We had Chairman Ted Farnsworth on earlier. Great interview there. Great company as well. So if you're interested in BBIG, just go back to the beginning of the video. He joins about 15 minutes in. And so we've got BBIG and then another great stock pick from Ben, SMSI. And that'll about do it for today's episode.
Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Thank you, Ben. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.